Hi everybody and welcome back to my channel, and today is a different day. Today is my first YouTube challenge day. I've been challenged by my children to make the biggest pizza possible in our oven, and we have around about 16 to 17 children coming over, so apologies in advance if you hear some noise. So without further ado, please do follow my channel. There's lots going on today, so I'm going to get with it. I've got 3.5 to 4 cups of flour, actually 4 cups, and I took another half a cup out there, so it's 3.5 cups of flour in there. I've got 300 ml of lukewarm water, and I've got some yeast, sugar, salt, and some olive oil. So before we start the pizza mix, this is going to make around about 2 14-inch large pizzas. I'm going to mix the yeast and let it ferment for a couple of minutes, and then I'm going to start mixing the dough. I have to make 4 14-inch pizzas, and my oven tray is around about that size. So there's going to be a lot of pizza today. So keep watching and I'll show you how to make the largest pizza in my oven. You probably should do the same in yours. Take your yeast and drop it into your water. I'm just going to give it a quick mix. I'm going to pop my sugar in there as well. Make sure that all mixes in nicely. This should start showing a few bubbles and fermenting. Just making sure that we get all the bits of yeast mixed in. Now if you have lumps of yeast in there, don't worry, it's quite common to have small lumps of yeast floating around, but if you can dissolve all of them, that would be great. Okay, so I'm going to leave that for a couple of minutes. In the meantime, I'm going to transfer my flour to my mixing bowl. Now I've kept this mixing bowl with me. It's a large mixing bowl, and what I'm going to do once my mixture is ready and my dough is ready, I'm going to line the bowl and then pop my dough into it, and then I'll go for the second batch. I'm also going to mix my salt in and just mix it for a couple of minutes to ensure that the salt mixes into the flour. I'm going to pop in my olive oil at the same time. I'm using strong white flour, which is also known as bread flour. I've got 300 ml of water. If you haven't got strong bread flour, just use all-purpose flour. The water content might be slightly different, so I'm going to use around about 200 and then slowly pour in the rest. So if you need to add a bit more water or reduce the water or add a bit more flour later on, do so. But just make sure that the dough isn't too sticky, but it becomes a ball. Okay, so let's get ready. Okay, looks like my dough is ready, so I'm just going to take it out. So it looks pliable, feels like plasticine. It's not sticky. So what I'm going to do now, I've just poured the rest of the olive oil into my mixing bowl. I'm just going to take my dough. I'm just going to cover the dough with olive oil, just making sure that all the sides are covered. And then just with my hand, just make sure that the rest of the bowl actually is fully covered with olive oil. And then I'm going to put a wet cloth over it. Or if you haven't got a wet cloth, muslin cloth or anything like that, just use cling film. That's fine as well. And then set it aside for about a good 45 minutes. And then after that, I'll come back and show you what to do. I'll see you back. Okay, so welcome back, everybody. My dough has been sitting for around about an hour and a half. Just wanted to show you what size it turned out to be. I'm just going to take off the cling wrap. So the dough at this stage has risen slightly, but what we'll do is to spread it out evenly. We'll give it a couple of more times and start pushing it out within the tray. We'll cover it again and then let it rise again. By the time we've done the third spread, it should be nice and even as well, and it should have done its last rise. Before you go ahead and start cooking your base, what I do advise you to do is, this recipe is for part bake. So no raw ingredients or sauce goes on top. So we'll part bake the base just to give it some sturdiness. Then we'll put on the tomato sauce with some cheese, the rest of the toppings, a little bit of cheese on top, and then we'll bake it, and I'll show you what the end result looks like. So I'll see you a bit later on once I'm ready to part bake the base. Okay, catch you later. Bye. Okay, so I've spread out my dough, and I've pushed it right towards the edge. Now I'm actually going to pop it into the oven about 140 degrees for about 10 minutes, and that should pre-bake our base, and then I'll bring it out once it's ready and we're about to make the pizza. Okay? Right, it's been 10 minutes, and I'm going to have a look in the oven, touch the base. If it's springy, that means it's done. If I touch it and it doesn't spring back, that means it still needs another couple of minutes. Keep watching, and I'll show you in a minute. Okay, so that's what it should look like, and yep, it springs back okay. Perfect. All right, so now what I'm going to do, keep watching. I've got a pizza sauce recipe on there, and I'm now going to put the pizza sauce in about 20 minutes. I'll wait for the base to cool down. I'll put the pizza sauce and the toppings with some cheese, and we'll cook it off in the oven, and I'll show you what it looks like. See you later. Hi everybody, and welcome back. So it's time for assembly. Pizza base came out really nice. It's quite naturally risen. In certain places it's thin, a little bit thick on this side. So it's just like a natural, naturally created pizza crust. It's not something that I've just bought out there of the stores. So what I'm going to do first, I'm just going to take some olive oil, and I'm just going to brush the edges just to give it that little bit of crispness. And this really has been the making of my kids, actually, who've been asking me to do this for them. I'm surprised they haven't been making so much noise already as a challenge. So there's my olive oil. And for all the recipes for the pizza sauce, the dough, just go to the description below and you'll find all the details. The size of this pizza is around about 24 inches to 26 to 24 inches in length, and width is around about 12 to 14 inches. So very simply, just I'm going to layer the sauce over the top. Obviously, being a large pizza, it will take time. So I'm going to put myself on silent and just follow me as I'm doing. Okay, so I've placed the base on, so I'm just going to give it some cheddar, just to give it that bit of taste. And then I've got some mozzarella balls here. So I'm just going to basically split the mozzarella balls so that they go a bit of a longer way compared to complete round balls being utilized in certain areas. So I'm scattering a bit more. Now, one of the things I'm going to have to be very careful, obviously this is the first time I'm doing something like this, is keep an eye on the pizzas. Actually, there's two I'm making. So this is number one, and you'll find I'm making, when I bring them out, I'll bring both of them out just to show you what both pizzas look like. And I've just realized now, and again, I'm not sure how I'm going to serve them, but we're going to have to cut them up and then serve them that way. Okay, so now once I'm done with this, now on go the toppings. So I've got some mushrooms here. And it really is just about placing enough toppings on there so you can taste a bit of everything, really. If you put too much topping, then you'll end up probably the base will cook, but the toppings may not cook in the middle. So I'm just going to go easy on the toppings, scatter them around. Okay, I've got some homemade meatballs. I'm going to utilize some of that. Right, some onions. And I've got some Cajun spiced chicken. I could start eating this now, actually. It looks so good. Right, so I've got some chorizo, pepperoni, and salami. And I'm going to generously, I've been told to generously place this on the meat pizza. So here goes. I think we're good. Okay, so a little bit more cheese, some mozzarella on top, and I'm going to put some jalapenos on some of them, half the side of it. Okay, some jalapenos just to finish off. 2. And I'm finally going to top it off with a bit of olive oil, just a little bit of olive oil. That'll give it a bit of shine and just give it that flavor and taste as well. Okay, so I'm going to pop this in the oven, and I'm going to come back after cleaning up and show you what the end pizza result looks like. I'll see you shortly. So here is my first pizza, meat pizza, full of just meat and chilies and cheese, and good enough to eat any day. So I'm just going to go ahead and enjoy this whilst you watch a picture or an image of this. I'll see you again soon. Keep following me on Instagram or keep following me on YouTube. You'll get all these exciting recipes. I'll catch you again. Have a good evening and bye for now.